Hello, and welcome to the third episode of the Rejuvenation Roundup podcast, where we explore the latest in life extension and anti-aging science with a dive into a month's worth of insights and new breakthroughs. This podcast is a combined effort of the Life Extension Advocacy Foundation, which operates Lifespan.io, and Future Grind, a podcast exploring the ethics and implications of emerging science and technology. I'm Ryan O'Shea, and I'll be your host. It is now October, and September was a busy month in the world of life extension, so let's get right into it. Remember, to find out more about any of these topics, you can visit lifespan.io/roundup. On September 18th, Lifespan.io launched the NAD Mouse Project, a crowdfunding campaign to finance a study by the Sinclair Lab at Harvard University. The study involves testing NAD precursor NMN on mice to see whether the anti-aging benefits demonstrated in previous smaller-scale studies by the same laboratory are confirmed. This could take us one step closer to human clinical trials for NMN as a therapy against aging. Thanks to the efforts of our donors and supporters, the campaign has been a huge success. The original goal of $30,000 was reached within a few days. As of the recording of this podcast, the campaign is now seeking to reach its stretch goals, which will allow the Sinclair team to perform a longer, more thorough study. If you would like to get involved, visit lifespan.io/roundup. We've also received some updates from 3 of our previous crowdfunding campaigns. You may remember that in the Mitosense team's Lifespan-funded research, only 2 mitochondrial genes could be successfully expressed allotopically. However, they are now reporting that they've improved upon their technique, allowing the expression on more mitochondrial genes. Also, the team behind the Senolytics-focused major mouse testing program informed us that, after a few bureaucratic hiccups, their study on senolytic combinations has finally been greenlit and was begun earlier this year. The group over at Cell Age has begun looking for new senescent cell promoters. Being able to identify these promoters might lead to better detection techniques to seek and destroy senescent cells, which is what Cell Age is after. All of these projects were made possible through the efforts of our supporters. Thank you to everyone who is helping us build a world free of age-related disease. Here's a fun update. Lifespan.io has recently joined forces with the popular YouTube channel Life Noggin to create a new video about the possibility of undoing aging. Here's a taste of what you can expect.
People have been wanting to live longer lives for thousands of years, and they've tried just about anything to make this happen. Obviously, all these quests for immortality were unsuccessful. Now the average global lifespan is 72 years old, but what if we could live an extra 100 years? Today, people are living longer than ever thanks to advances in healthcare and sanitation. Still, for many people, a lifespan of 72 years just isn't long enough. In order to live longer, though, your bodies are going to need a bit of help. Researchers believe that in order to truly extend your lifespan, we need to address the entire aging process itself. Because what good would it do if you lived to be almost 200 years old, but your body clocked out at age 100? Scientists have actually had a number of recent breakthroughs that are leading many to think we're on our way to longer, healthier lives.
To see the full video and learn more about these breakthroughs, visit the Life Noggin YouTube channel. We've also linked to it at lifespan.io/roundup. We had some great interviews posted last month, starting with Methuselah Foundation's founder, David Goebel. The Methuselah Foundation is a charity that has been funding and advocating for rejuvenation biotechnology research since the early 2000s. To find out more about how they seek to achieve their goals, we spoke with Methuselah Foundation Research Fellow Danielle Ruiz.
All of our work revolves around 6 pathfinding strategies that we've come up with in-house. Each of these are meant to tackle increasing the health span and have been named in order to be understood by the masses, not just academics. Our New Parts for People strategy was our first established strategy. As we age, the wear and tear we put on our bodies begins to take a toll. As one body component begins to weaken, this leads to an exponential strain on the body that stresses remaining parts, leading to failure and eventual death. New Parts for People focuses on technologies that create replacement parts of our bodies, such as organs, cartilage, bones, and vasculature. We want to make replacing biological parts as easy as replacing parts in a modern car. And some of our ventures in this space that we're very excited about are Organovo and Volumetric. Our Get the Crud Out strategy is designed to tackle waste in our bodies. The cellular processes of life result in byproducts, and these can be harmful if not cleared by the cell normally. Lifestyle and environmental factors add to this gradual accumulation of toxic substances in the body. And as we age, there's an increasing amount of DNA damage, which leads to ineffective cellular processes, intracellular damage, and senescent cells. Outside of the cell, wastes like amyloids accumulate, which negatively affect organ function. So Get the Crud Out focuses on technologies that clear these harmful substances from the body at both the microscopic or cellular level and the macroscopic or organ level. Destruction of ineffective or harmful cells, as well as removal of toxic proteins and metabolites, is essential to the restoration of youthful health. And some of our ventures in this space include Leucadia Therapeutics, Ocean Biotechnologies, and OncoSenX. Our third strategy is Restore the Rivers, and this is specific to delivery avenues in our bodies. As an individual ages, the circulatory system becomes less effective due in part to vessel stiffening, less effective pumping, insufficient waste clearance, insufficient oxygen exchange, and inadequate angiogenesis. So in effect, the body becomes starved for oxygen, which of course affects every process of the body down to the subcellular level. Our Restore the Rivers strategy addresses the need to improve these factors in the aged, including accelerated angiogenesis, more effective carriage and transfer of vital particles, and restored function of the circulatory system to youthful competence. And in this space, we have the NASA Methuselah Vascular Tissue Engineering. The Debug the Code strategy deals with the fact that fundamentally, we are built from codes. As we go through life, insults and damage happen to this essential code. And the code includes DNA and also the action code, RNA, as well as proteins that actually do the work of the cells. The Debug the Code strategy deals with the informational life of the cell and its expression. Over time, these activities degrade. Our first goal is to create actionable metrics that can illuminate exactly what is happening in your cells due to changes in your habits like food intake, age, the supplements you take, stresses from work and family life, etc. The problem is, if you can't measure it, you can't fix it. Once we can measure these factors, we will need to return the code to a youthful state. Some of our projects and ventures in this space include Openome and the Society for Gerontological Engineering and Technology, or SGET. The Lust for Life strategy focuses on the fact that no one wants to live longer lives that they don't enjoy. Among the aged, depression, loss of purpose, and social isolation are serious problems. When they lose physical ability, this often results in fear of injuries, limited independence, and loneliness. And this social isolation and physical disability lead to feelings of uselessness and hopelessness. Loss of acuity of the senses endangers the elderly, and it limits their ability to savor the little things in life that just add up to happiness. This Lust for Life strategy addresses the need to help older ones to want to increase their longevity and to empower them to make the most of longer life. By restoring the senses, cognition, and physical ability, older ones will be capable of independence and productivity. They will be free to explore the world and themselves through new experiences, friends, and skills. And one of our ventures in this space is Leucadia Therapeutics. Our final strategy is Restock the Shelves. We started this strategy because each person is constantly being dismantled, destroyed, and rebuilt at the cellular level. As we age, our ability to successfully retire harmful cells weakens, as is our ability to rebuild. Stem cells continue to be active and present in adult tissue, but they're fewer and less effective as we age. Also, senescent cells become more prolific, which saps and strains the body systems. And additionally, with advanced age comes a weakened immune system due to a combination of more onslaughts to the body and less effective defenses. The Restock the Shelf strategy addresses the need to provide the aged body with the tools required to rebuild and protect. It's essential to increase the number of stem cells and restore them to a youthful state, stimulating them to differentiate accurately. Other targets to restock include the immune system, the hypothalamus, and bone marrow. And one of our ventures we're very excited about in this space is reverse cell. Thanks so much for giving us the opportunity to share who we are and what we're working on.
In related news, the Methuselah Foundation's venture fund, called M-Fund, has successfully completed an initial funding round. Their portfolio includes a number of promising companies, such as Leucadia and Ocean. And now for our research roundup. As we age, our reservoir of stem cells depletes. This phenomenon, known as stem cell exhaustion, is one of the hallmarks of aging. Losing stem cells is bad news for your health, as it can lead to a variety of age-related ailments. The good news is that the field of stem cell research is one of the most advanced and well-funded. For example, a human clinical trial of induced pluripotent stem cells to treat heart disease will begin next year in Japan. Neural stem cell activity also declines with age, so addressing stem cell exhaustion will be necessary for the sake of brain health as well. A recent study published by the Journal of Experimental Neuroscience found that enhancing lysosomal activity improves neural stem cell function. One issue with gene therapy is that it often produces an autoimmune reaction. If you think about it, this makes sense. Adding or modifying genes means that a different protein is now being produced by your body, one that your immune system has never seen before, which is enough for the protein to be blacklisted and attacked. However, Stanford scientists may have recently figured out a way to administer gene therapy in mice without triggering an autoimmune reaction. Advanced glycation end products, or AGEs, are thought to be responsible for the stiffening of our tissues, most notably our arteries, as well as one of the drivers of age-related chronic inflammation. Recently, the Buck Institute for Research on Aging published an article on the inflammatory nature of AGEs. You can find more information on any of the studies mentioned here at lifespan.io/roundup. On September 21st, Leaf Outreach Director Elena Malova attended a death cafe, where strangers gather over food and drink to discuss death. The goal is to increase awareness of death and to help people make the most of their lives. Since beginning in 2011, there have been nearly 7,000 of these gatherings. Elena believes that there is potential for life extension advocates to attend Death Cafe meetings to discuss life extension science. Here's why.
If you follow our activities, and I hope you do, in terms of education we are focused on the projects that can reach many people at once. But for the message to get through and to become a factor of transformation, you also need the audience that would accept it. And this is where we, as people who are promoting ending aging and radical life extension, face the most problems. Most people are used to not noticing the slow worsening of health that aging brings, and are very skillful in suppressing unwelcome thoughts about their mortality and death. There is this unwillingness to even think about death as a problem, which is why any space where people are encouraged to think about death and causes of death and aging as one of the main causes of death is so precious to us as a community. We know that the best predictor of support for life extension technologies is the overall interest in science. This is what we know from the sociological studies. But there are more factors. For instance, the moments when the shields are lost for some reason, and the concept of death becomes evident. What Death Cafe does It allows people who are currently thinking about death to meet and exchange their perception and experiences. These people are also open to new ideas and solutions. And this is a fortunate moment to introduce the idea of ending aging with rejuvenation technologies. And our views and our knowledge as life extensionists may become an important piece of the puzzle for them. Those who are naturally inclined to see aging and death from aging as a problem to solve will be able to learn from us and maybe even give a hand in our activities.
Coming up in October, Filmmaking Meets Science at the Imagine Science Film Festival, which will be held from October 12th to 19th in New York City. Lifespan.io is proud to be an official sponsor of this edition, whose theme, survival, is very much related to our work. If you would like to attend, we have a discount code for 25% off your tickets. Visit lifespan.io/roundup to find out more. The 20th edition of the Transvision Conference will take place from October 19th to 21st in Madrid, Spain. Futurists, scientists, and advocates from all over the world will come to discuss everything from AI to blockchain and from exponential technologies to aging research. Lifespan.io will be participating as well, and we hope to see you there. That's it for the third episode of the Rejuvenation Roundup podcast. September was a great month for the world of life extension, and we hope that may be an indication of what we can expect for the rest of the year. We've heard some great feedback on the previous episodes, but since this is a new podcast, we're still trying to spread the word. If you would like to help, all you need to do is subscribe to this podcast, leave a review, and post about it on social media. This will increase our reach and introduce more people to the importance of life extension science. Remember, you can get additional deep dives into science, technology, and futurism on the Future Grind podcast. Find out more at futuregrind.org. Once again, I am your host, Ryan O'Shea, and on behalf of the team at Leaf, we wanted to thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next time on the Rejuvenation Roundup podcast.